So I had some free time tonight, and so I figured I would just take your shitty topics and try and make it into something reasonably interesting for you to listen to while you're doing your laundry, or driving in the car, or maybe you even watch the gameplay of these videos, which, before you can comment, this is old gameplay. Yeah, it is old gameplay, because I tried to play and get some more gameplay for like almost 10 minutes, and I just got bored and I didn't want to deal with it. And honestly, like, what percent of you actually watch the gameplay? Leave a comment if you actually watch, because from what I've heard, it's not a very high percentage. I might as well just have a black screen, or, every, 10 minutes in the black screen, I can try and flash, like, a picture of titties or something to keep you interested and hope YouTube doesn't notice. Whatever. Okay. So, anywho, I was going to go to the bottom so that everybody who commented first on Twitter would get their questions answered, but I think I'm just going to forge ahead and get through as many as I can. And there are quite a few. So, Jared T. Phillips, why do you hate Die Rise and Treyarch for messing it up? Well, I hate Die Rise because it's not fun, and I dislike Treyarch for messing it up. But that's not the answer you wanted. It's just not fun. It's just It's just not fun. You have to go through so many menial steps to get to the fun part. It's just annoying. It's just not a fun map. You have to jump around. You constantly are, missing those mattresses or something. They made it incredibly hard to kite anywhere, especially if you're playing multiplayer. They make it so everybody has to be really far apart from each other, and it kind of kills the teamwork aspect, because then all it takes is one person to go down, and then everybody has to frantically stumble over themselves to go, revive that person. It's just not fun. I don't like it. Maybe it's the greatest zombie map of all time to some people. I'm sure it is, but I don't care for it. I don't care for it. And as soon as it becomes one of the not new maps, I'm pretty sure everybody's going to come to their senses and realize, oh shit, this actually isn't fun. Taylor prophesied this, and now I will follow him around, like Peter and the gang did for Jesus. All right. Panic Knives, Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises. They're both great movies, but I like The Dark Knight Rises a little bit more, just because I like Tom Hardy as Bane a lot. But I mean, Heath Ledger was great as the Joker. I guess what really makes me like The Dark Knight Rises more is that Batman is more bearable. Batman's just annoying in The Dark Knight. So yes, for me it'll be The Dark Knight Rises. Wahoo74, The Meteor. I know that there was a meteorite over Russia or something and it hit the ground, but I am not informed. I don't know anything about it. But it would be cool is if there was some sort of alien creature inside the meteorite that kind of like spread a huge disease all over the planet, and only the strong survived, and then we had to like rebuild for a while, and then there'd be plenty of food and plenty of jobs then, economic crisis solved, yeah, and I'm not suffering under the delusion that I would make it. I'm not strong enough to withstand an alien meteorite being, but prices have to be paid for us to continue to live this lifestyle. REI One Man Army. Tits. 2 thumbs up, says Ebert and Roper. 5 out of 5, says the Chicago Tribune. Papaya Fire. Worst movie experience. The worst experience I ever had with a movie was I took a girl on a date, and we went to dinner, and then after the dinner we went to see X-Men. I think it was the first X-Men movie that came out, so I think I was like 14 or so, maybe 15. And it was at that age where we had to be dropped off at the movies, so there's your first red flag. You shouldn't be going on dates if you have to be dropped off at the movies. It's kind of fucking lame. You can't even do anything. And it was just awkward and weird, and the girl was really prudish. I mean, not to say I was, a player at 14 or anything, but I wasn't as awkward as she was, and I guess I really just didn't put the pieces together as to how we didn't click at all, and I was just a young guy, so I was just psyched to have a girl kind of interested in me. And it was just awkward and weird. And when we held hands, my hand started to get sweaty, and then her hand got really sweaty, and I'm pretty sure that she thought that it was just her hand sweat and not mine, which was a relief for me. I was happy about that. And I was retarded, and I got a soda, and I put the armrest down between us, like being a dumb middle school, or I guess freshman in high school, and put my soda there, and then I had to kind of awkwardly rearrange that, because in the middle of the movie, I couldn't just lift that up, because then it would be apparent that I was like going to try and snuggle with her or something, and it was kind of awkward. And so then I kind of had to like fake a bathroom attempt. Not bathroom attempt. I always succeed when I go to the bathroom. There's never an attempt. 100% success rate. I lifted the thing up as I was going to the bathroom, which in retrospect doesn't make any goddamn sense. Then I came back and kind of tried to play it off and hold her hand. It was just an awkward endeavor, but there are no good dates before the age of like 18. So there you go. Papaya Fire. Oh, worst date ever. Well, that's the exact same thing, and it's from the same person. So there you go. Black Master 7. Pros and cons of testicles. there really aren't many pros, aside from the fact that you can procreate with them, but if they were on the inside of your body instead, I know that, like, biologically that wouldn't work because of the temperature, but still, there are no pros. Give me one pro of testicles other than they're fun to play with. Like, they're fun to play with and have someone play with them for you, but other than that, there are no pros. They're uncomfortable. It's easy to hurt them. They get sweaty. They smell bad. They're hard to shave. See, it's just not a very long list of pros, a lot of cons. That's awesome. I left my window open, and now apparently somebody had the gall to get alcohol poisoning and needs to be flown to the hospital. And now there's a loud goddamn helicopter outside the window. Hope you can't hear that, but if you can, meh. Right above it, 48, Weird Girl update. No update on that weird girl. I guess she caught the hint that I was just not interested in her, and now she sits on the other side of class, and I sit by other people. So, yee. Real VMJ. What is a pheasant? A pheasant is a bird, and you shoot them with guns, preferably, or a bow if you're very skilled, that would be freaking awesome if you could take one of those out of the air with a bow. That's like Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones Middle Ages status skill. So yeah, it is a bird. You can Google it too. That's a great resource. google.com. Fantastic website. One of my faves. Polyside Guy 93. Woody's hairline. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good hairline for however old he is, mid-60s or so. And so he'll have hair for a long time to come. It's good that it's not any lower than it is, because if you have a really low hairline as an adult, it makes you look young and just kind of, not infantile. That's a little bit too far of a regression, but it makes you look like you're in your teenage years. Like, it's good that when your hairline recedes a tiny bit, it gives you that, aged look of wisdom and justice. I don't know. Wisdom and justice, those kind of float out. Doesn't have anything to do with the hairline. Whatever. Moving on. Onward and upward. Mr. Stared a lot. That's not a question. I should have sifted through these, because a lot of these are not questions, guys. Let's get it together. So you said getting women is a numbers game. Is it okay if I ask out a girl who's part of the same team as me, decathlon? I guess you're on a decathlon team. What is that? Is that a running? That's not triathlon. That's running, swimming, and biking, jumping. I don't know, some other physical activity that I have no interest whatsoever in. I would recommend that you don't do that. You shouldn't, gum up the works. Don't make any interest there. There are plenty of women out there. Go enjoy another one. But if you're a serious decathlete, I guess, then you don't want to mess up your team, brah. Abyssal Vortex, Rubio, Rand Paul, the Republican Party, and the biases in the media. When you said Rubio, it made me think you were talking about Rufio, that guy from Hook. I think it was Hook. It had Robin Williams in it, and it was just a not that great of a movie. But when I was a kid, I loved it, and Rufio was the guy. They're like, Rufio! And he was like the kid who was like 12 years old. I went back and I saw a scene of that recently. It was on TV, and I saw Rufio, and I remember as a kid thinking, wow, that guy's pretty hard-ass. He had that crazy hair, and then going back to watch it, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this kid has, not even hit puberty yet. He's just, some 11-year-old romping around like he owns shit, and, yeah. Rand Paul, don't know enough about him. I know he's a libertarian. Fiscally, he's a fiscal libertarian. Even though he says he's a libertarian, he's really not a libertarian. Socially, he's against gay marriage and all that hubbub, not in favor. I don't know if he's in favor of marijuana or not. I really don't know much about him, but Ron Paul, Rand Paul, they're both a little bit crazy, I would think, if he's anything like his dad. And now that I've insulted Ron Paul, all of the Paulites can come and, burn me at the stake. Republican Party, I'm not going to pretend that the Republican Party is just as bad as the Democratic Party, but they both suck so hard that you can't even defend either of them, It's like asking, would you rather eat a sandwich with diarrhea on it, or would you rather go to Arby's? They're both so bad you can't even compare it, but one's a little bit worse. Just a modicum worse. Biases in the media, they're everywhere. Go on Fox News and you're going to get conservative shit. Go on MSNBC and you're going to get liberal shit. It's really impossible to get anything straight to you, because they're pandering to an audience. At the end of the day, they have ad revenue, and that's their goal, and they're trying to get as many viewers as possible, and so they're going to do what they can to get viewers, and usually people enjoy having their biases confirmed, so that's what they're going to continue to do. Never going to change. Keegan Romer, cocaine. I don't know about cocaine, but I know that if Charlie Sheen does it, and he's successful, that must mean that cocaine makes you successful. So you put the pieces where you think they belong, but I think that's a pretty watertight argument, airtight argument, whatever. CG Idfar 13. Rant about something that pisses you off. I will when I think of something that pisses me off. I've had a pretty good day, so I'm not in too bad of a mood right now. I did have a teacher say that they were putting a test the first day after spring break, which doesn't make any sense to me. What's the point of that? Why would you subject yourself as a teacher and the students to that? All you're doing is ruining a tiny bit of their spring break by making them having that. You're making it loom over their head the entire goddamn time. What a rude thing to do. What a shitty thing to do to someone. It's like, all right, it's like me going to them and being like, okay, I will see you after spring break, and the first day after spring break, you won't know what time, but I'm going to come shit on your porch when you're not home. And so then they're going to constantly be thinking all break, oh, I'm going to come back and there's going to be shit on my porch one of these times, and they're not going to know how to stop it, and they can't stop it, but it's inevitable, and it's just a rude thing to do. So I would definitely equate putting a test on the first day after spring break on the same level of rudeness, if not more rude than shitting on someone's porch. I mean, it would take me, I don't know, a couple minutes to clean shit off my porch, whereas a test, especially a difficult test, first day after spring break, you don't have anything in your head, you don't remember anything, it's just asking for a bomb. You're asking to have your students fail. It's just an irresponsible thing to do as an educator. It's not like, I mean, you're a college professor, you have the power to rearrange a schedule a little bit. At the very least, put it like 2 or 3 days after spring break so you can kind of get back into the groove, have a review day or something, but it's just really dumb. Okay, Maggle84, PKA. Woody's asked me to be on PKA quite a bit recently, and every time I've been unable to just because I've been busy, and it's even worse now that they changed it to Friday night because, I mean, I love being on PKA, it's a great time, but on Friday nights, I usually, like, I've been working all week, and I enjoy going out and having a fun time and getting responsibly shit-faced. So, I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to make it, but I'm sure that we will shoehorn in some time. I'll pen him in my, itinerary, you know, like old secretaries used to do in Mad Men or whatever. So yeah, I'll try and find a time when I can get on PKA next time Woody asks. But, you know, Friday night is just not a good time for me. The Skywalker 115, have you thought about creating a religion? No, haven't given it any thought. I will come up with the ground rules. I'm going to make 11 commandments, though, because 11's a higher number than 10, thus more official. But no, the people won't buy it if it's 11. I have to do, like, the 20 or the 15 commandments. People, they like numbers that end in 0 and 5. It makes it seem real. If they had, like, the 8 commandments of Christianity, people will be like, what, you couldn't think of 2 more? That's bullshit. So yeah. Your take on the Harlem Shake trend from Bo Dallin. You know, I thought it was kind of funny the first like 1 or 2 that I saw, but it's just not funny. It's just not at all. And now there's so many people doing it. It's just ridiculous, and it's, I don't know. It's like how YOLO was, where not even that many people said it, but the jokes about it and the spin-offs of it just completely ruined anything that could have been found there. It's just frustrating when people take it and they just take that dead horse and they sodomize it over and over again, and then they get a bat and they beat it for a while, and then they go back inside and they're like, oh shit, half an hour later, and then they go grab a hockey stick and go beat it some more, until eventually, about 2 or 3 weeks down the road, it's just a bloated, rotting corpse of a dead horse, and somebody has to take it out to the trash. I mean, it's about time. So I don't care for it. But I mean, it seems like the people in the videos are having fun, so on that note, I don't really give a fuck. If you want to spend your time making really dumb, unoriginal dance videos from a bad song, then go hog wild. I don't mind. I'm trying to make sure that I don't do more than 1 question from each person so I can get through more. Speed of round. Favorite player on the Blues, if you have one. Right now I'd have to say Halak, because I played goalie in ice hockey, and so my favorite players have always been goalies. So, Halak, yeah. Fuck Arjun. Why you don't thank based God? I know that's like a based God. Is that a joke? I've heard that before. I don't know. I probably just went right over my head. Maybe I don't get the reference. All right. Probably shouldn't have read it if you didn't get the reference, you moron, Taylor. Get through this. Come on. Jerumi IDK. Why is North Korea such a derp country? Probably because they live under an evil despot who has delusions of divinity and thinks his dad is like ruling with his grandpa in heaven, and also argues that he, gets holes-in-ones on every golf course and plays basketball better than Michael Jordan, and she's just a delusional lunatic, and they use all their funding to build really bad weapons instead of feeding their people. And so I can understand why the people there are just